Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. So we have as part of the autonomization of women, an exhibition of handicraft was held at the Casino Shopping Center. For the international scene, more than 1.5 million refugees have fled Ukraine in 10 days. Welcome to our newsroom. A final report of the audit missions of the General State Inspectorate on the situations of public expenditure as at 31 December 2021 was transmitted to the General Prosecutor's Office on 1st March 2022. This report establishes that the Ministry of Budget has squandered the public funds made available to it to cover the expenses of the state by mobilizing large sums for non-priority and futile services that seem to be mostly fictitious. This report highlighted significant budgetary overrun of the Ministry of Budget compared to the credit voted in the rectifying finance law of the year 2021 in the category of expenses uses of goods services. Several billion expenses were committed and mandated recurrent and unjustified orders to the same suppliers for renovation work on the same buildings of the Ministry of Budget, on the acquisitions of construction materials, furniture, computer equipment, and other goods of current consumption on behalf of the same Ministry of Budget for an exorbitant amount of several billion Djibouti franc. An investigation was immediately opened by the public prosecutors who on 2 March 2022 referred the cases to the Gendarmerie's research section. The arrest of Mr. Farah Mohammed Osman, Deputy Director of Materials at the Ministry of Budget, and Mr. Sahal Saeed Awale, Director of General Treasury, was followed by the arrest of several local traders and other peoples who were revealed by the investigations. The investigations confirmed the existence of a fraudulent agreement between some traders and officials of the Ministry of Budget to embezzle several billion francs from the National Treasury. The two officials of the Ministry of Budget arrested directly implicated the former Minister of Budget Abdul Karim Adencher as the main instigators of this fraudulent system. Abdul Karim Adencher, former Minister of Budget, was arrested and placed in custody for the purpose of investigation. In addition, several traders have admitted the fact of which they are accused and have already reimbursed the amounts unduly received. Several hundred million Djibouti francs have already been recovered, and numerous real estate assets and fraudulently acquired vehicles seized. Numerous investigations remain to be carried out, and at the end of the investigation, all those involved will be brought before the public prosecutor's office so that judicial investigations can be opened in accordance with the law. An exhibition sale took place today at the Casino Haramus, a timely initiative that is part of the promotion of the cause of women, and this it should be noted through the craft, a business from mothers supporting families. The experienced national craft never miss the opportunity to participate in all fairs, exhibitions, or forums where the display of their handicraft vary and alternate between embroidery, tanning, basketry, and poetry, attracting a wide range of customers. Local craft contribute to the embellishment and enhancement of folkloric outfits and accessories. Let's value our local skills is the theme of the commercial week of the Cooperatives Craft of Rural Women, who began Monday at Pawadi Mall. The event is to promote the know-how of women artisans in our country, and especially for this occasion is that of rural areas. This is an event that has received financial and technical support from the European Union and UNDP. An official of the company Kubesh has indicated for his part that all Kubesh is a major economic of this is a major economic company of these countries, and we always to promote these producers that eat of the craft more generally in the field of agriculture. It is a little bit that the DNA of the company to promote all these companies to help them and to accompany them. It is thus in this context that this fair was organized to promote the craft represented by all the regions. The director of handicraft, Mr. Abdallah, explained that it was not the first times we have just organized these kinds of exhibitions. The objective is to show the Djiboutians know-how to Djiboutian and foreigners who are present here in Djibouti, and we call on Djiboutians to come and see these exhibitions. We have 12 associations that are represented, and I hope it will be a success, and I celebrate the opening of this exhibition. As part of the school championship of the middle and secondary education, the Department of Sports and Culture of the Ministry of National Education, Vocational Training organized this Saturday, March 5, 2022, a ceremony of the official closing of the sports season 2021-2022. The Director General of Education, Abdi Dirir, officially sponsored the 2021-2022 sports season in the gym of the Lycée de Djibouti. Many personalities, including the head of the sports and school cultures department, Mustafa Hassan Roble, and the inspector of the EPS took part in this event. Many heads of schools, head of the football team, schools, sports commissions, and the teacher were also in front now. The event was rich in colors with cultural animations that set the tone for the sports season, which opened with a handy sports gala match between the two women's teams. The day started with a high-flying final between the women's handball teams of the Fukuzawa and Gabot, respectively champion and vice-champion of the last season. Once again, the victory went to the girls of Gabot College. For his part, one of the organizers said that today is an exceptional day. We attend the end of the National School Championship, where two activities are on the programs, namely handball and basketball. As you see here, we attended very interesting finals because the College of Bul'as used the every these kinds and championship, but this years they were defeated by the College of Fukuzawa. In the framework of the fight against narcotics, the judicial group intensifies its surveillance operations in various sensitive areas of the capital. In fact, during the night of 4 to 5 March 2022, at 2 a.m., the gendarmes of Engela Brigade surprised the dubious transactions taking place in the industrial zone between drivers and sportage vehicles suspected of delivering drugs and motorcyclists. When the gendarmerie patrols arrived, the vehicle in question fled. After a short pursuit, the gendarmes managed to intercept the vehicles and its drivers. In the wake of this, the investigators proceeded to the search of the car and discovered the presence of a good quantity of narcotics with 2 kilograms with a market values of 200,000 and a sum of money of 35,000 in the course of searches of this home. The gendarmes also seized the motorbikes used for this mobility with the drugs. Even given the seriousness of the fact, the perpetrators will soon be brought to justice to answer for these actions. For the international scene, the number of people fleeing the conflict in Ukraine has passed the 1.5 million mark, making it the fastest growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II. The UN warned on Sunday more than 1.5 million refugees from Ukraine have crossed into the neighboring countries in 10 days. This is the fastest growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi said in a tweet. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees said on Saturday that there were nearly 1.37 million refugees. The authorities and the UN expect to flow to increase further. The Russian army announced the opening of several humanitarian corridors and local ceasefires on 7 March to evacuate civilians from the Ukrainian cities of Kharkov, Kiev, Mariupol, and Sumy. Russian forces with a humanitarian aim declared a regime of silence from 10 on 7 March and the opening of a humanitarian corridor. The Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement issued on the mornings of 7 March, according to the UN, 4 million people may want to leave the country. And to close up this edition is COVID-19, 6 million victims on the verge of being reached. The 6 million mark of COVID-19 victims should be crossed this Monday. This is what the latest report from the American University Johns Hopkins indicates, reminding us that the pandemic continues to affect the world's population despite the resumption of travel, the reopening of offices, and the announcements in certain countries of the withdrawal of masks. South Africa is among the hardest hit countries with nearly 100,000 victims. Many families around the world have been bereaved by the pandemic. In South Africa, 3.5 million people have been infected with the growing virus. In South Africa, 31 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered to the South African population, according to official government figures. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Let's follow the special election news with Dini Musa.